Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Arden of Faversham, and today we get to hear from Reede in Act 4, Scene 4, which, oh my goodness, yesterday we were in Act 3, Scene 5. So there's a lot that we need to catch up on. So not a ton of review, just know that Green and Will and Shakebag have been hired by Alice and Mosby to kill Arden. They've been unsuccessful several times. Alice and Mosby are in love, but keep doing that. I don't trust you. We shouldn't be together. Are you sure? Yes, no, but we still love each other. They had another one of those yesterday. They're back together. Everything's cool, but everybody wants Arden dead. And Arden is very suspicious about this and feels like he's being hunted like a deer. So, Act 3, Scene 6. We start out with Will and Shakebag because they're stalking Arden now. Arden is on his way somewhere. He's traveling. Michael Bolton has told them that he's traveling and this is where he can get him. So they're like, so do we have all of our stuff? And he's like, what are you talking about? Do we have all of our stuff? Of course I have. I've killed more people than you have. I've picked more pockets than you have, blah, blah, blah. So they get into this thing about who's the more experienced criminal, and they nearly come to blows, but then Green steps in and is like, hey, eyes on the prize here, while you idiots are fighting, we're going to miss our chance to kill Arden. So they chill out a little bit, and Green's like, all right, you're ready? All right, okay, I'll come back in an hour, because he doesn't want to be there to see Arden actually be killed. So he leaves, and Will and Shakebag hide in the bushes, and then Arden and Franklin and Michael enter, and Michael is like, oh, sorry, there's something wrong with my horse's shoe. I have to go back and fix it, because he's not going to be able to make it all the way home. And Arden's like, well, okay, fine, do it, but catch up soon. But this is all because Michael also doesn't want to see Arden get killed. Because remember, he actually kind of likes Arden. Arden has been nice to him, but he wants Arden dead so that he can marry Mosby's sister. So Michael leaves, and Franklin is telling Arden a story, which, haha, it's all cute. And Will and Shakebag are about to pounce, but then Lord Cheney shows up, who's just another lord that lives in the area, and he knows Arden, like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Who are you? I'm Franklin. Nice to meet you. Hey, you want to come over for dinner? And Arden and Franklin are like, sorry, I've got dinner plans already. And Lord Cheney is like, well, why don't you come over for dinner? Is that Will hiding in the bushes, Black Will? You need to turn your life around. And he gives Will some money so that Will hopefully won't feel the need to rob them right now, because he knows that Will is a bad guy. And Lord Cheney is like, you know what? I'll ride you all the way back to your place. I'll ride with you back to your place, and then, come over tomorrow for dinner. And so they all leave, and Will and Shakebag are there, and they're like, oh, we managed to not kill him again. This is so frustrating. And Shakebag is so frustrated that he fires a bullet into the air. So Green comes running, and he's like, is that it? Is that it? Is he dead? Is he dead? And they're like, no, he's not dead yet. But we know he went that way. He's going to have to come back. So when he goes to Cheney's tomorrow night for dinner, then we'll hunt him down and we'll kill him. But we also still have to tell Alice that we haven't killed him yet, because she's going to start to wonder, and she's going to think that we don't know what we're doing and don't want to do it. So that's Act 3, Scene 6. Whew. Act 4, Scene 1 is the next night at Arden's place, and Arden and Alice and Franklin and Michael are there, and Susan is kind of hanging out over here, and Arden's getting ready to go to Cheney's, and Alice is like, you used to like to stay at home with me, and now just the drop of a hat you leave. And Franklin's like, well, why don't you come with? And Arden's like, yeah, hey, Michael, prepare a horse for Alice too. And Alice is like, but if I go, who's going to watch the house? So just come back soon, yes? And Michael comes back saying that the horses are ready, but remember, he still doesn't want to see Arden get killed. So he says that he's not ready. He forgot his purse, his wallet. So he has to stay and look for that. And Arden and Franklin are like, okay, fine, we'll go without you. Catch up when you can. So as they are leaving, or shortly after they have left, Clark the painter comes in. Remember, Clark the painter also wants to marry Susan. So he and Michael get into a little bit over who Susan is actually betrothed to, and they start fighting, and the stage direction says that Michael's head gets broken. Presumably Clark bashes him on the head or something like that. So Clark breaks Michael's head. So Susan comes rushing back in, and then Mosby and Green and Alice come back in, and Alice is like, why are you two fighting over Susan? And so Michael leaves, and then she turns to Clark and she's like, so do you have it? Because remember, way back when they were talking about a painting that Clark could do that would make whoever saw it die because it had poison paint, they actually ended up commissioning him to make a poisoned crucifix. So Clark presents this poisoned crucifix. He's like, here you go. And Alice is like, great. This is great. Thank you so much. Like, worst case scenario, I'll be able to kill Arden with this. And then Mosby and I can be together. And Mosby's like, yes, I like that plan. And Green is like, cool, yeah, great. But let's go check and see how Will and Shakebag are doing to see if Arden is dead yet or not. And that's the end of Act 4, Scene 1. Act 4, Scene 2, now they have to take a ferry to get to Lord Cheney's house. So we're on this ferry, and we have Arden and Franklin talking to the ferryman on their way to the Isle of Shippey to dine with Lord Cheney. And I'm presuming that it's not a very long distance that they have to go, and you'll see why in the next scene. Like, there's lots of stuff about the ferry and where the ferry is supposed to be landing and all that kind of thing. But the important things that we get out of this is that there's a very dense fog going on in this as Arden is going to Lord Cheney's house. And a lot of it sort of then devolves into lewd puns about women and moons and bramble bushes. So do with that as you will. But the main thing is it's now really foggy outside. Act 4, Scene 3. Will and Shakebag are like staking out the ferry port because they want to be able to jump Arden as soon as he gets off the boat. But they're getting lost in the fog. It's so dense that they can't see where they're going or what they're doing. And Shakebag falls into a ditch, and the ferryman comes over to help, and they're like, get away, get away. And he's like, no, somebody yelled for help, so I'm here to help. And they're like, no, and they don't want help from him because they don't want a witness. Is how all of that goes. But they are the little bit of conversation, they are able to glean from him that he already ferried a couple of people across so they could go dine with Cheney. And these horses that they heard a minute ago were most likely Arden and Franklin riding to Lord Cheney's house. And they're like, no, we missed it again. So they're rather rude and short with the ferryman, who is rude and short with them back. And then the ferryman leaves. But Green and Mosby and Alice enter, and they're like, so is he dead yet or what? But they are told that with this dense fog, once again, Arden got away. But Will and Shakebag are like, yes, but he's going to have to come back to the ferry to get back home again, so we'll get him then. And Alice is like, okay, fine, like here's some money, go find a fire and somewhere warm to sit so you can dry off and rest a little bit while you wait. So Green and Will and Shakebag leave to go do that, and Alice is like, oh my god, these guys are idiots and they're never going to get this done. So hey, Mosby, you and we're going to just run into Arden and we're going to challenge him to a duel. And then when other people come out, Arden's going to get killed in the fray. And that'll be it. That'll be the end of him. And Mosby's like, yes, I like that idea. It's so good that I have to kiss you now. So they kiss. And that's the end of the scene. So now we have made it to Act 4, Scene 4, which is where the monologue is that we're supposed to do today. And we're going to get to hear from Dick Reede, who is a sailor who also had owned some of the land that was given to Arden when Arden was given the lands of all of the Abbey of Faversham. So Dick Reede is also upset about this, the same way that Green was upset that his lands had been given away. So he's near Arden's house, but not at Arden's house, and he's going up, and the sailor that he's with is like, man, it's not worth it. He's not going to listen to you. He doesn't care about you or your family or anything like that. And Reed says, he's coming from Shorlow, as I understand. Here I'll intercept him, for at his house he never will vouchsafe to speak with me. If prayers and fair entreaties will not serve, or make no battery in his flinty breast, I'll curse the cur and see what that will do. See where he comes to further my intent. Master Arden, I am now bound to the sea. My coming to you was about the plat of ground which wrongfully you detain from me. Although the rent of it be very small, yet it will help my wife and children, which here I leave in Faversham, God knows, needy and bare. For Christ's sake, let them have it. So what he's saying is, he's like, I know Arden is going to be coming back this way, and he's not going to talk to me at his house. So if he's not going to talk to me at his house, I'm going to see what I can do here. And if he won't listen to reason, if he won't work with me on this, then, you know, I may have to get a little rough. But he gets a little bit distracted because Franklin and Arden and Michael enter, and he's like, oh, hey, Arden, hi. I'm one of the other people that owned some of the land that is now yours. And even though I'm a sailor and I'm out on the sea the whole time, my wife and kids are here. It would mean a lot if they could just have that land. Like, it's not a lot of land. It's not a lot of rent that you're getting out of it. Like, if they could just have that land, it would be great, because that's where they've been living for a real long time. And Arden is like, if you hadn't been talking so badly about me behind my back, maybe I would consider that, but you've really been mean. So no, I'm not going to do you a favor. And Reede is like, okay, fine. Like, if I can't have the land, I curse it. And I hope that that land never does anything good for you. I hope that every woman who sets foot on that land has a miscarriage. I hope it never produces any crops. Like, he goes to town cursing this plot of land. And Franklin is like, maybe you should watch what it is that you curse, because, you know, that might come back and bite you in the butt a little bit later. And Reede has a response that's a monologue that we will hear tomorrow. So I will see you then for that. Mwah.